What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome to Not Your Status Quo's The Clone Wars Season 7, Episode 6 review. And remember, there will be spoilers.
If you like what we do, make sure that you subscribe and also let all your friends know. Share it with them.
And hit the like button and hit the bell to be notified of future content.
Episode 6, Deal, No Deal. This starts out with Ahsoka and Trace kind of building a bond while they're working on her starship. She's asking about where Ahsoka worked. No, I think she says, "Oh, I've noticed
where'd
you
you
worked
go
on."
to? Yeah. Where did you learn this? Like, what academy did you go to?
Skywalker.
Yeah, I love that. That was great.
Yeah,
The
that was-
Skywalker Academy.
Which I'm surprised. You'd think that even people on level 1313 Coruscant would know who Anakin Skywalker
Right.
is. But maybe they don't.
I guess they're
I don't
not
know,
deep enough where they haven't heard that stuff.
Well, if you as you go on, you find out just how little she actually knows about the world. So, I don't know.
No,
Maybe
that's
she
a good point. She does show really her ignorance, and that's
Yeah.
not a bad word. Just about how things work
Oh, yeah,
outside of
absolutely.
the slums of Coruscant.
Mm-hmm.
And we learned a little more about the sisters, how the parents left and they inherited the bay. Rafa won that shop where she was robbing her customers from gambling. And, the ship was all Trace. She saved her money, she got it, she bought it, and she wants to call it the Silver Angel.
Silver Angel. Nobody likes that name, by the way.
Ahsoka's amused by it, like, oh, I've never heard a ship called that before.
Are you
And
sure you don't want to change that to
Right.
something else?
I wonder, if in the Star Wars world they have to, input this information into, the ship logs and everything, and so that way, whenever they get hailed by another ship, this comes up on the, this is the Silver Angel, or the Millennium Falcon, or
Or
whatever.
the ghost. Yeah,
Yeah.
They know what the ghost is.
Right,
so.
yeah.
well,
I
then
wonder
I
if people
liked
are, looking at it Silver Angel, what?
it's memorable. I'm with you, Trace.
The Silver Angle? What? Did you spell that wrong?
Sliver. The sliver angle. That's what it is.
But then she asked what she would name her bike, and she called it Trash.
I love it, yes.
I didn't know
It's
if she
so
was
true.
just true about the bike, or she was a little mad at Ahsoka for not liking the name. So
I love her the tone that she has when she says to Trash. I named it Trash. That's great. I want to save that clip and then I want to play it. For
And this is someone, you're insulting her stuff and while she's helping you work on the ship.
right.
well, she did just kind of insult the name that she probably thought was great.
True.
But then Ahsoka does agree to kind of hang out for a little while longer because she really doesn't know where she's going to go. So hey, why not stay there, work on the ship, and maybe learn more about things outside of the Jedi, order.
Yeah, in a way, they're both kind of in their own world. If you think about it, you've got Ahsoka, who's used to everything above ground in the Jedi Order, and that has been her entire world. So, this is all new to her, and she's learning new things. So it's kind of going both ways.
Yeah, they're very parallel, just on different sides.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, it's almost like good storytelling.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy.
And then, Rafi comes in and she needs a pilot for a job. The last pilot wouldn't do it and took the ship. So Trace agrees to help her with the fastest ship in the galaxy.
With the best pilot. As we'll find out.
And then Rafi actually is a little worried about Ahsoka and her angle. Because she's used to dealing, everyone has their own, they want their own split. What
are you after?
Yeah, which completely understandable with where, Rafi and Trace came from. Ahsoka probably doesn't really understand it because of where she came from.
And what type of species is Ahsoka again?
Oh man, I don't remember.
Yeah. But, all of them. They're all the same. They're all up to something.
Always.
Always.
Shakti, Ahsoka. But, they decide to take off in the Silver Angel, and she's flying up, and she gets in a military lane for flying. Ahsoka's like, don't answer the hail, get out of here, let's get out of here. And, the general gets on, or the captain of the Star Cruiser gets on, and he's like...
It's just, it goes back to, so she's going on and saying how great of a pilot she is, but she actually doesn't know, A, she doesn't know which lane she's supposed to be flying in, B, she didn't realize that she's apparently supposed to have a license. She seems surprised, am I supposed to have one of those? She doesn't know that she can actually get in trouble for flying in a military lane. It's just like a whole cavalcade of like terribleness but she's the best pilot.
Well, I did like, well, what have you flown? Oh, speeder bikes and like movers, and she's naming all the stuff that are nowhere close to
Right.
being like a starship.
And then they go into light speed. We'll get that in a minute because there's something better.
And during this whole time, we actually see as they're flying past, getting out, getting back into the proper, flying lanes, that Anakin is on a ship.
Yeah.
And he kind of senses Ahsoka's on there. When the general was going to send ships out to arrest him, he goes, "Nah, don't worry about it."
Yeah, that's a lot like.
I think she sensed him too.
She did.
That's a lot like Return of the Jedi when you let Luke's party land. It shows a pattern. Like he obviously cares for this person, let them through. Obviously, he did it for a different reason with Luke, but part of it had to be that he cared about him.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I thought that was probably the best scene in the show.
I really enjoyed it too. I thought it was really well done. They didn't overdo it. It was just enough to kind of get the point across.
Yeah.
They didn't dwell on it for too long.
Show that they still maintain a connection.
Yep.
And that ends up, working out later, when we get to Rebels and they end up confronting each other again. Spoiler, sorry. You were warned.
Yeah, if you watch Rebels, Ahsoka does face Darth Vader. And if you haven't seen it, it's worth it. Watch Rebels.
Yeah.
But like Doug was saying, she puts it into hyperspace and it's making a very odd sound, which we find out she still has
Got the air brakes. I love how like she starts to like, wow, I've never been in hyperspace before. And they're all both looking at her like, what are you talking about? Do you know how dangerous this is?
And you're captaining this ship?
And so it reminds me of what Obi-Wan says in A New Hope. Or was that Han? It might have been one or the other. They were talking about like when they were getting ready to enter hyperspace, how dangerous it was.
Who did say that? I know what you're talking about. I
Yeah. It was one of the two. We'll have to play the clip.
Nah, it was C-3PO.
Everything worried him.
But they end up arriving at Kessel, and we can only guess under 12 parsecs, being the fastest ship in the galaxy.
But piloted by the best pilot.
That's right. And Ahsoka's wonders what the job is, because Kessel is pretty much corrupt as they come. And they're greeted by a Twi'lek that says a feast has been prepared for them. He's an emissary of the king. And, basically they find out they're transporting 3 crates of unrefined spice. Which,
spice mines.
Ahsoka's a little leery because it can be used for medical purposes, but there's also an illegal spice trade going on. It can be made for things that maybe aren't so much on the up and up. So
Right.
Ahsoka's getting a little worried. But Rafa and Trace reveal that, they plan to... They get back into space, and they're like, oh, we're heading to basically the Pike Syndicate. And this really sets Ahsoka off. Like, you don't know what you're doing. That's the Pikes. They'll take your ship and kill you without even thinking twice about it. And Ahsoka is kind of arguing with Raffi. And during this time...
I mean, she says in the beginning, like, when Raffi's, like, asking her, like, what her angle is, and she mentions, like, almost as, like, just... foreshadowing in a way. She's like, I'm keeping you out of trouble.
Yeah. And during this, Trace is so worried about losing her ship, she ends up dumping the spice, which we know that got Han Solo in trouble with Jabba the Hutt. Now, he was saying he was getting boarded by the Imperials, but, the same thing kind of plays. There are a lot of parallels. You see them taking off into space with some people who've never been in space, and now dumping the spice to kind of get out of trouble.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really get them out of trouble. Ahsoka has a plan, and they decide to fly to the Pike's planet. They get out. Ahsoka uses her Jedi mind trick to basically say, you're giving us our credits and we're going to leave. And
You're giving us our credits. We're going to leave.
and it does work partially, but not all the Pikes were influenced, and one of the guys is like, hey, well, this isn't normal. Let's get the spice, and they're kind of trying to take off, and the spice racks, the shipments kind of come down. He blows it open, sees they're empty, and he basically says, stop them. And understandably, they have a tractor beam on them. They got 3 ships right in sight, and that's when the episode ends.
Yeah, and I thought it seemed like a really quick episode, It was the same, 22 minutes?
Yep.
Yeah.
But it seemed like it was over just like that. So maybe the series is starting to pick up a little bit.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed this one a little bit more too.
Mhm.
It's like as quick as it was, it still felt like something happened.
And it was, I didn't expect her to dump the spice. I think the problem with the Bad Batch arc was everything fell into place. There was never once where I went, oh, I didn't expect that. And I kind of did that when she dumped the spice as she did.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, okay,
Oh,
now how are
yeah.
they going to get out of this?
Yeah.
What's going to be their plan? Something I didn't anticipate, so that made it good.
Right.
And I think they're really doing a good job with the two sisters. One is very roguish, a scruffy
One's a little
nerfer.
naive.
And one's extremely naive, and the the older sister kind of plays off of that, takes advantage of her younger sister.
Unfortunately.
And it's been good. It's been excellent storytelling. The story's good. Animation has been still top notch, and it's just getting better.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And they finally brought Anakin back into it. Was it 3 episodes now that they hadn't had a Jedi in it? I was kind of missing it myself.
Anakin was in the second episode of the Bad Batch arc.
And
No, he was in all the episodes.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
how
yeah.
many? Is this only the second one with Ahsoka?
yeah, it's only a second
Yeah.
episode.
All right. Yeah, I was just missing him.
Okay.
I thought that his character had been developing awesome, like straight into Darth Vader, and then we just didn't see him. So I was like, I need to see that. I want to see some more.
Well, and I think we will definitely see more of that because I do think his relationship with Ahsoka is going to play a major role in a lot of his, progression towards the dark side. It's not only going to be Padme and, dying when she gives birth, but this whole thing is going to play off because something's going to happen that leads her to Mandalore. And we know the Jedi will be involved during the Siege of Mandalore. So, it's coming. Anakin and Ahsoka will see each other again before they're seen in Rebels. Once
Right.
again,
Yeah.
spoiler alert.
On the preview for this season, there was she was a hologram projection, right? And having a meeting with the Jedi, and
Yeah.
Anakin walked in. I can't wait for that scene to see what's going on there.
I'm assuming she somehow gets to Mandalore and finds out that Maul is in control, and she's alerting the Jedi Council to what's going on.
Which is very nice of her after everything that happened to her.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
The
Once
way they
again-
treated her.
Very
Yeah.
open-minded of her.
But that just shows what amazing character she has. She is above all that. She knew she had to get away because of what the Jedi Council was becoming, but she's always
She's got
does the
her
right
moral code though. Still
Yeah.
has it. She knows what's right, what's wrong.
Yeah,
Once
that's
again-
another reason I like that character so much. She's
Yeah.
she's gonna do what she thinks is right, whether it's up to Jedi code or
Yep.
Empire code, whatever. She's gonna do what she thinks is right.
thing. And she usually is. She's very Captain America-like in that.
Yeah.
Well, what did you guys think of this episode? We're halfway through the final season of Clone Wars.
Already. Wow.
I know. But it's picking up steam. It's getting better. We're excited. Tell us what you think, people. Share.